the judge ruled on several grounds. First, the judge felt that the census had not been officially announced yet, and he thought that the time that we went to the court was a little bit early. They did not say
Your
that it
action
was
was
wrong.
premature,
So
which you accepted.
so on
No,
technical,
I'm coming. So your action to go to court was premature,
it's not something
which you
that
accepted.
it's not something that I say yes and no already.
No,
It's
no, no.
it's public record. It's yes.
Yeah,
That was the
so
ruling.
yes, so you accepted that your
That
action was premature.
we
So
are
then why hold
we
the court
we
responsible?
are law
Mhm,
abiding. You ask a question
mhm.
about the CPP's position on the processes.
No, yes, I know. And you
Yes,
talk about the you
and
talk about the census.
I told and
I'm
I
coming. You talk about the issues you have with the census, for which you went to court, and then at the court you failed miserably. You said I shouldn't use the word miserably,
Mhm.
but you failed, and you accepted that your action was premature to run to
there
court.
there
When
are
you know that
there
the
are
census.
many rulings of the court.
Okay, so
There are many rulings of the
let's put
court
that down.
where the court if the court no, you're not going to move forward.
The
You're
point
not
is
going to
that,
raise an issue to the public and
but
then don't get clarification and move forward. There are many cases in this town.
no,
It
I'm
is
not
not
talking
about
about
you.
many cases.
No, it's not
No,
about
we
you
were
being
specific with it.
satisfied.
No, I can't.
It's not
Mr.
about you being
Mr. Wisner,
satisfied.
Mr.
The
Wisner,
court
we were
ruled
specific
against
about
us,
the case you took to court,
and I
where you
said,
failed miserably.
as I conceded that the court ruled against us as
On grounds like your action was premature.
law abiding institution.
Mhm.
We accepted the ruling of the court, though we are not saying that the court was right in its ruling, but we accepted the ruling. We move on.
So if the court said that you were you ran to court at the time the census results had not come, you still have problem when you know your action was premature.
How many times have you gone to court and you rule and you know the judge is not right and you still reserve your action? Even lawyers in the court would do that when the judge announced a verdict. We say, I take exception. We took exception.
Okay,
and we have no apology for that.
Let's move forward. So the political party the nomination process that's ongoing. What is your take on that as well?
Well, the nomination process is going smoothly. Yesterday, our standard bearer was in at the NEC Center to register, announcing that we have fully completed our ticket and we are fully prepared for the elections, for the campaign process. So we are pretty much up to now happy about the way the process is proceeding. But it is early to give a conclusive verdict because the process is still ongoing. My understanding is that it ends, I think, is it Friday or so? It ends, and then afterward, there will be the qualification processes, and then people's name will be placed. So I'm sure there will be some challenges here and there from different quarters, but we cannot give a concluding verdict until the process is over.
Now, I know one intent or one thing you'll be doing is to tell the public when you are going on your campaign trail to tell the people as to who Alexander Cummings is and his experience in the rough side. Tell us a bit. Let's hear from you. Who Alexander Cummings is? If he's a man who's poised to go to October 10th election, who is he?
Mr. Alexander B. Cummings is a very patriotic Liberian, very competent in what he does, and someone who has a clear vision for this country and where he wants to take the country from the kind of madness that we found ourselves in the last 5 years. So he's very clear about that. Alexander B. Cummings is the standard bearer of the collaborating political parties who have been very resilient amidst political attacks. He's the most attacked individual in Liberian politics. He has survived. He's been attacked left and right, lied on. People try to muzzle him and bully. He would not be. He's one of international repute. Probably amongst the candidates running now, the most respected icon internationally when it comes to Liberian politics. He has his connection locally. Mr. Alexander B. Cummings hails from Maryland County, precisely from the town of Wike in Callaway, Maryland County. His father hails from there. He grew up partly in Point Four and then Fiamma, and then later on went to demonstration school, and one who I would say is self-made. He all through his life he did not get it silver spoon. He worked.
Okay.
Went corporate America as a refugee and
Okay.
ascended to the very highest level in corporate America for an African and a Liberian, very unprecedented head of Coca-Cola.
Granted.
He's been engaged
Now-
in this country. You want to know more about him?
Now,
We'll spend
I
the
see you
whole
said
day.
sufficiently.
Oh, okay.
Now, what has, because I know those are questions that and answers that you have that you be given to the electorate. What has he done? What can he pinpoint as things that he has done, as impact he has made on the lives of the electors for which he wants to vote?
Oh, that's a very, very beautiful question because this gives the opportunity to clarify. First of all, Mr. Cummings has been engaged with this country even while he served in respectable international institutions as far back as more than 10, 15 years ago.
How?
You asked the question. So
No, I know. You made a statement, and you said he has been engaged with his country. And I just want to ask the question: how has he been engaged?
okay, and that's why I'm explaining
Okay,
if you
go
give me a
ahead.
chance, because
Go
I
ahead.
gave you a chance to answer.
Go
You
ahead.
asked a question. You gave me a chance to answer. So
If there's a need to interject, I'll have to do so.
I know
Yes,
how how the ball game go.
Go
You
ahead.
give me a chance to do.
Go ahead.
Okay. So Mr. Cummings has been engaged with this country. Both one, he's been engaged in the humanitarian sector of this country.
Mm.
He's been engaged in the economic sector of this country. And then in the last 8 years, he's been engaged in the political sector of this country. Now, let me break it down for you. Some of which I know from firsthand evidence. Firstly, on the humanitarian side, Mr. Cummings has been engaged in supporting uh, health institutions. For example, the people in Grand Bassa County will tell you that almost 19 years ago, Mr. Cummings was one of the biggest sponsor and support humanitarian assistance to the Buchanan Hospital. At the A&E University.
What did it?
No.
I'm coming. It's easy.
Sorbor.
How
Sorbor.
much did he?
I know.
How much did he contribute?
I know.
No, I know.
I know
that
you.
said-
I know you prepared for my coming here and you prepared for the interview. But if you ask a question, you will not interrupt me. I just name one thing. You know
how much did he contribute to the hospital or the
come on,
sector
come
in
on,
Grand
come on,
Bassa?
come on, Sorbor.
You said 19
Come on,
years
come on,
back,
come on,
he
come
did
on,
contribute.
come on, come on, come on, Sorbor, come on, Sorbor, come on, Sorbor. Huh?
You don't have the figure?
Come on, no, come on, Sorbor.
You don't know the figure?
Will you ask the question and let me answer?
No, thank you. How much did he contribute?
You know, let me just say this for the public. I accepted, you know how you and myself had a rough time before even coming here. I accepted to come on your station to have a civil discussion. Yeah. So then if you ask a question, you ask a question.
You ask involved with this country, and he contributed to the health sector in Grand Bassa. I did ask, how much did he contribute?
No, your original question was, what has he done? And I'm listing it. When I list it, you can come back and ask.
No,
I
just said
okay. On the issue of support to Grand Bassa, it has been numerous. I wouldn't put dollar and cent.
So you don't know how much he has contributed?
It has been numerous. I wouldn't put, because it's not a one-off support that he has given. Now let's move on. He supported health educational institution, for example, in Kakata, BWR. The marks are there that he was able to improve the learning condition over there.
How? Again, when I ask my question, you see, I'm trying to interrupt.
He gave in many instances that he gave, one of the most notable was to solve the issue of the electricity problem at the BWR.
How did he solve it? Did he buy generators?
Yes, he bought generator. And so
in what year?
Support. It's not a market list. I don't know off here the year. So he contributed to BWR. He has contributed to the AME University to the extent that university, because of his enormous contribution, a library is named after the Coca-Cola library. And more besides that, the
You
graduate,
said
the
the library is named after Coca-Cola Library,
yes,
but that is institution. It said if they say Coca-Cola laboratory or library, does it indicate the Cummings Library? Mm.
So because of his contribution, the AME University is even named after him. The graduate school is called the Alexander B. Cummings Graduate School of International Development at the AME in honor of his numerous services to that institution over the years. In Liberia, on the national level, when this country was going through the upheaval of the
Said during our war years. Go ahead.
I'm not saying war years.
Okay.
Don't put words in my mouth. This is why I'm saying you have to be calm.
I'm calm.
Yeah, in our during the course of our evolution, when we
Which evolution make it
when we
worse?
were going through our difficult situation of the Ebola, Mr. Cummings again
But
was
is it why you couldn't say Ebola? You said
because
of the Ebola and all
I am
that.
talking and you're talking civil war. You're trying to get things over my mouth. I'm not saying.
But you couldn't
I
say
think
Ebola. You
you're
could have said Ebola.
no,
They say during our upheaval.
you're a little bit hypocritical in interview,
But you know me for that. I mean,
No,
this is not the first
no,
time we
I've listened to you with other government people here. You're
Oh
not
no,
that
don't
hypocritical.
say that.
Yeah,
Let
but
me
anyway,
understand. Okay, go ahead. I know you.
yeah,
I agree with
that's
you.
it. So he was again very supportive of Liberia.
What did he
state.
do? Not just support.
He provided PPEs that were very needed at the time
To the Ministry of
He-
Health?
to,
Or
me-
where?
to the government of Liberia.
He provided
the,
PPE?
the government of Liberia.
Mm.
He provided through his influence at Coca-Cola financial assistance to the government. And don't ask me about dollar and cent. He provided medical supplies.
Through
Then-
which
then-
institution? Not just the government, but through which institution that he provided those medical supplies?
Sorbor, the entire government of Liberia, and I was a government official, was rallied to fight our Ebola crisis. Even though the health ministry was driving it, it was not just the prerogative of the health ministry. It was the entire government mobilized because we're facing an existential threat as a nation. He contributed, and to the extent of his contribution that it was recognized nationally, and he was conferred one of the nation's highest honor by the then Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And if you want to go further, when the economy was faltering, at the time I was at the NIC, Mr. Cummings
Well,
again.
68 out of 60, out of some 16.
Mr. Cummings,
concessions,
we are here to discuss Mr.
We'll
Cummings.
talk about that.
That's
yeah.
what, yeah, that's why
We'll talk about that.
that's why I was talking about your
Go ahead.
very
Go ahead. You
triple
said
happy
you
this
said you were
morning.
at
No,
NIC.
no, I know. I know your game plan is to distract,
You
but
see
I will
that.
be very
You
focused.
see that.
But we're not talking about concessions here.
No, we'll
So-
talk about that.
No, we cannot even talk about that. We're talking about Mr. Cummings. Again, when this economy was going through hard time, and you want to know what Mr. Cummings did for this country? When this economy again was going through hard time, and like
During the last administration?
and yes, when Liberians were threatened to be laid off by Coca-Cola, it was Mr. Cummings again, even though he was not head of Coca-Cola Liberia, but because of his influential role played in the global corporate institution, was able to step in to remedy the situation. I know it firsthand because I worked directly with him, or we contacted him. Again, when the when the commerce ministry under Olubanki King Akirele, and the records are there, when Madam Sirleaf came in as far back as 2006, 2007, when the health ministry was trying to kickstart the economy and Liberian entrepreneur development. One of the persons to turn to, Liberians to turn to in the international community again was Mr. Cummings. I know this firsthand because I was there. Now, this is so much about what Mr. And we can just go on and on and on. The first STEM school demonstration in Liberia. You know what STEM is, right? So, institution schools dedicated to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Guess who established that STEM school to see that our Liberian educational system can have a different emphasis and compete. It was Mr. Alexander B.
Mr.
Cummings.
Wisdom,
And it is right there.
you said
It's right
something
there on
about what
oh
score.
no, you wanted to
no,
know
I
why
can't,
he do.
I
I can
can't.
name more
No, listen.
because sometimes maybe you're saying
Mr.
he was a
Wisdom,
stranger. He has not
Mr.
done
Wisdom,
anything. I
you
can
said
name
something
a lot that he has
why
done for
you
this
think
country.
the impact he
Okay.
has made.
Okay.
Now, the next question: Why? What is wrong? And before I ask that question, if we go back to Mr. Charles Taylor, the former president of this republic, he served at the GSA, served in the government position. Then we go to Madam Ellen Johnson served as former minister of serving in Minister of Finance or whatever it is. We go to the current president. He became senator before becoming president of England. Now, what is wrong with Alexander Cummings starting off from the Senate or the House of Representatives? Rather, he's aiming at the presidency at a point where he lacks some public service pedigree.
I knew this question was coming because it would not be a a bad question if you are not for the studio that I'm in. But let me tell you, first and foremost, no one has a monopoly over the ambition of a Liberian. The Constitution of Liberia guarantees the right of any qualified, competent Liberian to aspire for anything that he wants in the country. No one says that you should start from being Susu Club before you go up. Having said that, Mr. Cummings' desire for the presidency in this country is genuine, is to change the trajectory of this country.
We'll talk about changing the trajectory. I asked the question: what is wrong if started from the House of Representatives or started from the Senate? Rather, he's aiming at the presidency when he has little knowledge on public service.
First of all, the question itself is judgmental when you say what is wrong. So you already assume that something is wrong with someone aspiring for a particular office. And this is what I tried to correct by my first statement. That the premise of your question first is judgmental.
No, I just asked you. No, you could answer. There's nothing wrong with that, or there's something wrong with that. That's just the question I'm asking.
So,
is there anything wrong if
so to clarify,
and I just and not the presidency? Is there anything wrong? Yes or no?
I just answer from the wrong premise of your question to
what makes the premise wrong?
Because I just told you that the Constitution gives every Liberian the right to aspire for any office. You support George. If you decided today you wanted to run for representative, or you wanted to run for senator, or you wanted to run for president, it is not mean, George Wisner, to say to you, Sorbor, why first you didn't become LBS managing director to start from there to be minister for.
That's a different scenario.
No, it is not.
Mr. Wisner. The question is, I did set the premise very well. I say if you went back, trace.
It's because he didn't want to. He has it. He has it.
So should we try him in the executive mansion?
It is not a try and error method. Liberian problem has not been because people serve in government or didn't serve in government. Liberian problem has been a leadership deficit. Liberia's problem has been the absence of visionary leadership. Now, leadership is not the same as governmental experience, if you must know.
So then how do the electors cast a ballot for someone who has not served in the public, who doesn't understand how governance run, who doesn't understand how government is run, who does not understand what it means to have a national budget, or how does the budget it's expended, who doesn't even know anything, but all his life has been in the corporate sector.
So it is you, and other Liberians who have very limited understanding of what governance is, that would think that it is the same leadership experience and governmental experience are the same. Not necessarily, my brother. Not necessarily, my brother. And if you want to pull it that way, our country in the last 5 years has retrogressed. It is not because people in government.
We can't.
No.
Okay,
I'm
go ahead,
answering
go
your
ahead,
question.
go ahead.
Why always when I
No,
want to
go ahead, go
talk
ahead.
about the government, you become jumping?
Because we're
No, but let me
no,
answer
no,
your
they
question.
think I
No.
can't. Go ahead, go ahead.
You let me answer the
Go
question.
ahead.
So what? It's
Go
true.
ahead.
It's true that
Go
it's true that
ahead.
I'm in a no. It's true that I'm in a state radio station. But you
And
give
you
me
enjoying the benefits
no.
of
I'm not
the
enjoying. I'm not enjoying it because
which has
when,
not happened before.
no,
You know
no.
that very well.
Come on,
Okay,
come on,
okay.
come on.
Answer the question.
You'll be shameful to say that.
Go
you
ahead.
have a
Answer the
I
question.
can't with
Answer
that.
the question.
Because what is even happening is
flower
even worse.
We're not
No,
making flower. Answer
no.
the
The reason is Sorbor, you are being very unprofessional today.
You see there?
Yes,
Because of my question I asked you?
because when you asking, as soon as I'm ready to talk about the government, you jump in and you interrupt.
Fair.
No,
I did ask
am.
you about the
I
question.
am.
I did
And
ask you the question.
Sorbor, let me tell you.
What is wrong
I
with
came
Kwame
prepared.
beginning
I
from
knew.
the legislature
I knew that
or-
this. I knew that this interview was going to be rough, and I came prepared for it.
Which I know.
I knew you were going to be
I
tired.
know very
I
well.
listened to all your other interviews, and I know how calm you can be.
How calm I can be.
I knew it was going to be rough. But let me go. You answer the question. Look, someone. Let's pull it this way again. It is the limited understanding of governance and leadership that will lead the statement that you're saying, because your statement reflects the statement of many other people who want to conflate leadership with governmental experience. And what I will say to you to give you an idea how the two are not the same, you take, for example, over the last 5 years, Liberia has retrogressed in every sector, economic governance, everything. And guess what? The people in this government are not people who lack governmental experience. If you look at Mr. Mr. Weir has been in government. If you look at Joy Howard Taylor, if you look at the Union Army, all of them, if governmental experience could develop this country with the years of experience, this country will be far ahead.
Okay.
But it is because of the lack of leadership, because of the lack of self-restraint, the lack of self-discipline, the lack of transparency that the country is. What Alexander Cummings brings to the table is sound managerial leadership that works in both public and private sector. Because the question about leadership, if you have leadership experience, is the capacity of the individual to be able to manage resources and human capital to achieve stated national goals and objectives. If you look at the president, the current president we have, comparing with Mr. Cummings and all of the other actors, you cannot even try to think about their capacities. The current president, even though he had been in government, he has not developed the leadership capacity to lead. That's why the country, in every respect, is falling behind.
Granted.
Now, Mr. Cummings, Mr. Cummings, no. Let me end your question, but I will end your comment. You see what I'm saying again? I'll end my comment. Unlike no, I don't interrupt you when you answer questions. Mr. Cummings, on the contrast to Mr. Weir. Mr. Cummings, on the contrast to Mr. Weir.
We are not
His leadership. No, you
asked
why he do it, and I'm trying to say the difference between leadership and governmental experience.
No, I did ask the question. Is there anything wrong with Mr. Cummings beginning?
And I told you, and I answered the question already. I answered the question already.
He said it's not necessary that
yes, I answered the question.
Now, the next question. The CPP or Mr. Cummings has projected himself as the fixer.
Of course, so? Yes, he is.
What is it that has spurred that Cummings wants to fix?
That's a very good.
In this country.
You sure you want to answer that question? Good. And you give me some chance. Number one, Mr. Cummings wants to fix the economy of this country that has been undermined by incompetence, abuse, and corruption. The first thing about the economy is the
Do you have
poverty.
instant society?
Yeah, if you give me a chance to
No,
learn.
no, you made us stupid and you landed.
I never learned. I
No,
didn't learn.
you said
And
you want
you interrupted me. I didn't
to
learn.
see again.
You didn't interrupt me. So Mr. Cummings wants to fix this economy, and the first thing he wants to fix in the economy is the kind of poverty and suffering that this government has subjected the Liberian people to the extent that young people now, over 150,000, are hooked up on drugs.
So is this
So what specifically?
Mr. Wisner, are you insinuating that this government imported the drugs in the country?
I am insinuating, if I'm not insinuating, I am stating for the record that the gross incompetence of this government, the corruption of this government, the insensitivity of this government has led the country into the kind of quagmire that we find ourselves in.
No, you made a reference to drugs. I'm coming. You made a reference to drugs.
And I'm answering that question.
The government imported the drugs? Is that what you're saying?
It's a question the public knows. Just a couple of months ago, over $100 million through the tip off of the American government was busted. Drugs. People were taken to court. The drug that came to the country, not one person, single person has been held accountable.
Mr. Wisdom, is it against that backdrop that you are saying?
It's just one of the instances. You're asking me. I will list many instances.
So are you indicating?
Okay.
Are you saying that because you made reference to the importation of drugs? Are you saying that in the last government, the last administration you worked for, at the time, they didn't have the arrest youth around? Is that what you're saying? I
am saying that you're talking to them. I'm talking about the
drug.
Yeah, no.
I'm coming.
Okay, let me answer your question there. That question. Let me answer your question there. And what I'm saying, under this government.
I asked the question about the last administration that you worked in. Are you saying that at the time we didn't have the young people, we have drugs?
I understand your question. If you talk about the last government, you're using a benchmark. Your question.
No, the question is you are saying that.
I understand your question, young man. I understand your question, Sorbor. I was on the microphone like you.
Yeah,
I practice journalism like you.
Saying that in the last
So no, I understand your question. Your question is a comparative question. You're comparing the last government with this government. You are saying, was it worse or more? And that's why I'm asking you. I'm answering you. And the answer is, under this government, it has gotten worse, not only worse. The gross incompetence is.
What did the government you served in? I asked you a question. You didn't answer my question. You didn't answer the question at all. I did ask, in the last administration that you worked in, didn't we have drugs in the country? We didn't have the young people at the time, many of them on drugs. Is that why you say we didn't have them then? No, I asked the question, you answer the question.
In the last
administration,
in the last administration, in the Doe administration, in the Taylor administration, we've always in this country had such challenges. Under this administration.
No, I'm not talking about challenges.
But Sorbor, your question is not a yes or no question.
No, but you're trying to beat that situation.
When we're growing up, Shema Brown had a yes and no contest. They ask you yes and no, you say yes and no, you feel. You didn't call me here for a yes or no. If I answer the question and it is answered, you ask me whether under the last government it was not there. And I am saying that under every administration in Liberia, there have been challenges, including the one. But I'm saying under this government.
Including which one?
The one I talked about.
No, including which? I want you to
including the last government that you asked about. You asked about the last government. So
you agree that under
I'm saying
we had drugs in the country, right?
But there is no time in Liberia history. That we did not have challenges in this country. The difference is that
Mr. Wisner, you haven't said that yet. Instead, you went to drugs.
You see,
linking the government to drugs.
even the public will see how you have just told a lie if you say that I have not said. I just told you one about fixing the economy, and
I will not get emotional as you are, but I'm saying to you, Mr. Wilson, the question I asked.
No, you.
What is it that you intend to fix? And you have not said it.
No, I'm not emotional because you asked what is it I intend to fix, and I started off clearly for the public to hear.
You went straight to the issue of drugs.
I did. Yeah, the issue of drugs was part
So
of it.
is that what you want to fix? Is it on that basis that you want to come to the executive mansion as president to fix the issue of the drugs? Is that a major issue?
No, Mr. Cummings. I said it from the beginning. Mr. Cummings wants to fix the economy that you've messed up. And because the economy is messed up, you have young people turning to drugs.
Then let me ask you a question.
No, that's how the drug came. No. You ask the question and I'll answer what is it I want to fix. But Sorbor, you can't have.
You made a reference to fixing the economy.
I think this is one of the worst interviews the public is hearing.
Hello.
Because you ask a question and you will now wait for the answer to the question.
Yeah, but that. So then I asked, how do you want to fix the economy? What is it I want to fix?
Okay. So
inflation.
So you respect the public now. Let me answer that question. What is
it I want to fix?
Okay. So you respect the public
regarding the economy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I want to fix the poverty that many Liberians are subjected to. I want to fix the rampant corruption. Rampant corruption.
Do you have instances to cite?
Many instances
Many
instances. And I will start first with the one that is glaring, both locally and internationally, that key people in your government was sanctioned by the international community. Now we're not saying.
And did the government condone it? Now I'm coming. I asked a question. You say it was sanctioned. Granted, did the government allow them?
The government condone it. And it's not only my statement. You want me to give you an example? Just listen to the U.S. Ambassador Patton comment yesterday. He reiterated that it is very disappointing that this government did not even make an attempt at investigating. You want to ask whether the government condoned it? The government more than condoning it. The government is a participant in the rampant corruption.
Granted, you made a statement.
No.
Akami, let me ask you a question now. Are you insinuating that the government brought the charges on those people?
I am insinuating. I'm not insinuating. I am stating for the record that the government is complicit in the corruption of the
government that brought the charges on those people that sanctioned them? Or the international?
You think the government has any political will to bring charge on itself?
Okay.
The government does not have political will because the government is rotting from top to bottom. So we don't expect the government to charge itself.
I'll be opening the lines very shortly. You talk about corruption, sir, which it's your view. You said the government should have investigated, though the government didn't bring charges against those people. I don't know how it does that.
It's not only me saying it. Me and the international community, everybody's saying it. Are you saying that the American government lied? Did the American ambassador lie on the government when they say the government is not serious about investigating corruption?
I'm coming, please. Let me ask you now. You said that Mr. Cummings also wants to fight corruption out of that and improve the economy. It was reported here, and which we all know, you organized a protest. With a tire suffering protest, in which some $75,000 were pumped into that. Unfortunately, that money disappeared in thin air. Now you are talking about fighting corruption. How do you balance that in your fight against corruption?
Another beautiful question, and I hope you give me the chance to answer. First of all, Mr. Cummings demonstrated how he's going to fight corruption when that incident occurred. First of all, let me correct you. Let me correct you for the popular record. There was nowhere stated that 75,000 got missing.
Okay. It didn't get missing. So what is it now?
No, I'm talking about the figure amount. I don't want to.
No, so what is it now? It didn't get missing. Oh, okay. What is the figure? Maybe I overstep or understand the figure.
Okay. It was reported.
Underestimated.
It was reported in your media, in the media and in the public, that $78,000 was stolen. Was allegedly stolen during.
So you agree that it was $70,000, not 75?
I'm correcting you. Yeah.
No, I'm saying that you agree
that question is for you.
It's
Whether you agree with
70 times
70, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
granted.
yeah,
So that
so-
money just
but let me answer the
appears
question.
in air.
That's not the issue. If you ask a question, let me answer the question.
Go ahead.
So that's right. So if it was alleged,
Mhm.
Mr. Cummings demonstrated how he will fight corruption when he stated that the alleged culprit would not go free. And Mr. Cummings followed it up by ensuring that the chief culprit was smoked out of his hiding place in Freetown, arrested, and brought to the state. The question you should be asking in our governance system and under our laws, opposition, private citizens don't prosecute criminal cases. It is the state. So the question is, what is the government doing with that case? Because the individual was apprehended by the government. It is the government who has been stalling to bring the issue to Cummings review about stalling if he was not sincere, but it is the government who's shielding the criminal. He's arrested by the government. He's brought to court. That like any other criminal cases. So you know what it bespeaks? It bespeaks that even the government, even in that particular situation, the suspicion is, why is the government shielding this? Mr. Cummings used his network, went everywhere to try to find the alleged culprit that committed this crime.
That stole $70,000.
That allegedly.
From whom they stole money?
Come on. Is that a question?
I'm asking a question.
It is alleged. It is alleged that someone stole money from our institution. And our institution does not condone criminality or corruption. So our institution went all out to apprehend the culprits. The culprits were apprehended, turned over to the government of the Republic of Liberia. For some strange reason, the government got interest in the case and in the individual that is alleged to have stolen. And the government for almost 1 year, the government is refusing to speedily prosecute.
That over and over.
I said that to tell you that question. That problem is with the government. But it's symptomatic because the government is always shooting criminals. The government is always shooting criminals.
Please, let's try to be civil here. 0776 540 987. That's the number to call, and you are live on this program. 0776 540 987. We take this first caller. Good morning. Yes, sir.
Good morning to the veterans too. And I think the veterans doing very good this morning, even though they are trying to pay the government propaganda rule. It is clear that Mr. Kumu is the best. There's no comparison set between President we are.
Okay, you made your point. It is clear that Mr. Cummings is the best. You made your point already. Good morning. Good morning. Hello? This caller is off the line. Good morning. Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Thank you. My name is Papa Patu, and I'm here this morning for this thing of 11. I listened to Big Brother John Wilson trying to do an IFTK, my Senate government, just that government, that are committing directly. But for the sake of the public, right? Honorable Kume is just the government of the future. So just comparing with that, we are who are said, and the government will feature and not do well when it comes to the government process. Because you just have Honorable John Wilson about the situation about the money that was put from the ANC camp. And also now, we come to a conclusion on that, we don't know where the division, we don't know what happened in the case, there's no update. So sometimes that tomorrow is going to come out the opportunity to say this country, someone is going to feature the unprofessional. I think it was just one of the guys that you guys study is people who claim that they have the certificate album. So tell us the outcome, where's the corporate, what's happening to the kids, what's the update?
Okay, you made a point. Let's take this caller. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, good morning. Oh, we're trying to see what we can get this caller. Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm okay, sir.
Steven Zero Whiskey.
Let's hear from you.
Before I can proceed with my question, let me be emphatically to Mr. Wisdom. Now, with the preconceived mind he has for you, he was very upset this morning in the interview. Second, my question to Mr. Whistler is your comments. Told the Liberian people the other time that he has a struggle that he's struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
This struggle of transfer the people. Thank you.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
You are coming in broken, please. I'm sure you didn't hear you. You didn't understand you.
You get me now?
Yes, you are live now.
I'm saying the communist man told the Liberian people the other time that he has a struggle that he's struggling with. Is the struggle over now, or does he want to transfer the struggle to the Liberian people?
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning, sir.
And let me say good morning to the strategist, Mr. George Wilson, in studio there. My name is Desmond J. Nimley, and I call from Congo Town in Monrovia. Quickly, let me say thank you to Mr. Wilson. He deliberated very well. Even though Sorbor, you are not giving him the time as a guest, you are more like serving as an interviewer as well as a guest. But let me say this, Mr.
Then I will not keep you on the line if you come up with such a very wrong premise. Then I will not keep you on the line. Send me as a guest and send me as a.
One minute premise.
Okay,
One minute premise
call.
wrong.
Let's take this caller quickly. Good morning.
1 minute premise wrong.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Sure. You think I won't be on our CDC, man? I'm begging you, man. I'm begging you, man.
Please,
Go ahead. No, your CDC brother talking. Go ahead. Go ahead, my brother. I'll hear you. You'll get the mail getting 2 minutes. But you're getting 2 minutes. Go ahead. You call it. You call the other man off because he couldn't you.
Because his premise was wrong.
But then the man premise was right.
Good morning. Go ahead.
That's bias.
Please let's allow this caller to speak.
Surprise are you?
Go ahead.
Of course, I will give you 5 minutes.
Okay. Okay, you made a point already. Let's take this call. Good morning. Yes, good morning, sir.
I'm telling you, Sorbor. Look how he's shaking. My man, I'm you 2 minutes. Praise him.
Thank you.
So, what are you interested?
Okay. Many thanks. Let me take this call. I got to take a little more calls and I'll wrap it up quickly. My other guests are already here. Good morning. I'm okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to take it to Mr. Whistler. He has said it all.
No, call you over.
You want to give the guests this? I mean, they call us chance, man. Wisdom.
To tell you that Mr. Cummings is real world and you become the next president of this republic.
Okay.
So I want to be powerful.
Okay, you made a point already. He said it. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. John.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Well, my name is Prince Mustafa Samuel, and I spoke with Steve Juba this morning. Well, let me say this to your theater guest. Look, the issue at the John Cummings is something that has no alternative direction. The fact that Cummings can bring those great sacrifice politicians, go guys are going to sign over 50 people potential agreement at the NIC will come and take this in terms of corruption. But today, after today, I'm letting that girl, I mean, I'll get back on that today. Like, so they're happy, nothing to do our country. They have people to us. They brought the issue of corruption to reach out to bring them back government. I think they have failed making this. And by the grace of God, God will not allow them to presume in our country.
Okay, you made a point already. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Julie,
Let's hear from you.
let me first appreciate you and your guest, Mr. Whitner. You know, let me first debunk what Mr. Whitner said that the CC government is stealing his money. You know, how can you claim to be a fixer and then you come along, you retire something through that? Here's the amount of money that you see. You think God are rent fixer? You can come to some and drain the rest of money. We will tell control Liberians. Man have been shot to good person. We are and we defeat your camp or to what you will be defeated after the like people.
Okay, let me take this. You made a point. Let me take this last caller. Good morning.
Yeah, morning, Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Morning to your studio guest. This is still Tom with a jitter. I'm supposed to be for location. So when I saw you for bringing your studio guest to studio, and I want to wish someone that is come to the public there so that we know they're doing and they're short for to me someone the studio guest. The apple in case on this now usually say the legislative party anybody who serves with that government where Joe Walker or said as scholar of opportunity, you do have that full revenue to question the reality of government. Because we're not continue to go all one in new control that I usually refer to them those are elected politicians need to be retired. That's why we are saying we'll go into the future to be that person where you ask me a question, if he is this lecture of the current city, he is unable to be specific. The current the current when he's questioning that all sectors are not working educationally wise.
You're making somebody.
Okay, many thanks. You made a point already. Like I said, I'll be calm and let you. Let's respond quickly because our next guest.
Look, Sorbor. I will just one or two. I will not respond to the CDC callers that call and that you gave undue and time. My brother Cooper passed away. Raised an issue about the alleged culprit of a missing money. Cooper, what you need to understand, and you are a young man, I'm sure you feel it, is that when it comes to the persecution of criminal cases, it is only the state that can do so. Even you, when you commit a crime, criminal case, somebody cannot come to Wisner to ask Wisner what is the status of
Okay,
the
please.
case.
Let me just take this call up quickly. Let me
the-
just take this call up quickly.
No,
please, 1 minute. Please, let me just.
Yeah, no, one of your CDC persons. Go ahead.
You know, you see, we all go through in
No, go
Good
ahead.
morning, sir, Mr. Minister.
I told you. I told the public.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to the Liberian people.
Go ahead.
I think George Wisner has gotten the fair share and he has gotten the clear understanding from the Liberian people as to why Mr. Cummings will be rejected on October. This is Jarawa Tompo.
Yes, go ahead.
You remember, and some of the points I wanted to raise were already highlighted, so I'll just pass by them in passing. But Mr. Wisner said in the last government, the previous government, before this one, and I can recall the former Auditor General said that government was damn corrupt than other government before then. Mr. Wisner has come to say that his government, and every time Mr. Wisner appears on radio, he becomes personal. And the only word I always hear from Wisner is incompetent, and you become personal. He even demonstrated it to you this morning. He has never shown any moral gratitude to address the question that you are asking.
The minister is uninterrupted. I hope I will be
You did not
uninterrupted.
address that question. He passed by. And you also try to ask him about the Kenneth hospital. You try to pass by him. But I can simply say to Mr. Wisner, without being so much personal, that this government has done of wisdom put his manifesto together, the political party manifesto together, and be able to present to the Liberian people well so that we will understand it. But as far as we concern Redwell, he has not said anything to the Liberian people.
Okay.
And against that backdrop, the Liberian people will ensure elect His Excellency and this government on October 10, 2023.
Okay. Many thanks. Okay. Your response quickly. We'll have to go. Wisdom?
I have no response.
No response?
I have no response.
Okay. So thank you for taking time off a busy schedule. Really appreciate your time.
Welcome.